Okay, students, before we get to the next problem, I want to talk to you a little bit about this figure here. We have a question here that says lines A and B are parallel to one another. That means they never will cross or intersect. It's like railroad tracks. They'll never, ever, ever run into one another. And it tells us that they are parallel. Okay, sometimes you may see it written like this. A is parallel to B. Okay, that's shorthand that's math shorthand. A is parallel to B. Okay, but they will always tell you if these two lines are parallel to one another. Okay, let's talk about some vocabulary with this. So we have parallel lines, and we have a line that crosses these, the road crossing the railroad tracks. This is a transversal line. So C is a transversal. C, okay? We're given the measure of one angle here. And the angles are going to be like this. What is that measure? Okay. All right. So we have several terms that can help us to solve for the rest of these angles. One of those terms is called supplementary. Supplementary angles are going to be any angles that add up to 180 degrees. Can we put a little zero right there for our degrees instead of writing it out every time? So 180 degrees is a straight line. Supplementary, supper table, a flat surface, okay? So supplementary angles are any angles that together add up to 180 degrees. All right, another term that's going to help us is vertical angles. Vertical angles are going to be angles that, if I have intersecting lines, it's going to be the angles that are across from one another. Vertical angles are going to have the same measure. Okay, they're vertical angels. They make angel wings. So if this one right here is 50 degrees, then this one over here is also going to be 50 degrees. So vertical angles are angles opposite from one another, and they will have the same measure. Supplementary angles will be angles that together add up to 180 degrees. So if this one was 60 degrees, then this one would be 180 minus 60 degrees, or 120. 120 plus 60 give us our total of 180 degrees. Okay, so let's go back to this figure. If this one is 80 degrees, well, I can see that this right here and this right here are vertical to one another, right? Okay, so that right there is going to help us find the measure of 4. What about 1? Well, 1 and 80 make a straight line. So together they're going to make 180 degrees because they are supplementary angles. So I can come right here and put 180 minus 80, and that's going to tell me that this one measures 100 degrees, because 100 plus 80 give me my straight line, which is 180 degrees. Okay, now 100 is vertical to angle 3, right? Those are vertical angels. They make angel wings. So if I have 80 here, I'm going to have 80 here. If I have 100 here, I'm going to have 100 here. So I've already found the measure of some of those angles. Okay, because this line and this line are parallel to one another, and only because they are parallel to one another, this set of angles and this set of angles will have the same measures. I could pick these up, sit them right on top here, and they're going to be the exact same. That wouldn't work if this one was skewed a little bit, would it? Or if it didn't tell me that these were parallel. Then I can't assume it just because they look like it. It has to tell me that they are. Okay, so these correspond to these. So if this one is 80, 6 corresponds to this one. So it's also going to be 80. And if 4 is 80, then 8's also going to be 80. And if 1 is 100, then 5 is going to be 100. And if 3 is 100, 7 is also going to be 100, because this set and this set correspond to one another. Okay, so let's hop over and look at this question that we have on the geometry practice. This tells us the measure of angle 7, and they use the little symbol for angle, is 116 degrees. Which of the following is a true statement? Okay, so if the measure of angle 7 down here is 116, I'm going to write it in here. Okay. Okay, so let's look at all the other angles here first. 118 and angle 3, what are those? Vertical angles. So angle 3 will be 118 degrees, right? Okay, if 118 and angle 1 here are supplementary, meaning they are both on a straight line, they add up to 180 degrees. Let's see what angle 1 would measure. 180 minus 118. That's going to be 72 degrees right here. Oh, 62, sorry. 62 degrees. Okay, 1 and 2 make vertical angles, so 2 will also be 62 degrees. Okay, remember, if these two lines are parallel, then these right here will match these right here. Is that happening? No. We have 118 here and 116 here. They don't correspond to one another. Therefore, P and Q are not parallel lines, are they? P and Q are not parallel lines. If they were, then 118 here would also have to be 118 here, and it's not. It's going to be 116 because it is vertical to angle 7. Angle 5 will be, because 4 and 5 are supplementary, they have to add up to 180 degrees. 180 minus 116, that's going to tell me that this is going to be 64 degrees right here. And if 5 is 64 degrees and it's vertical to angle 6, it's going to be 64 degrees. None of those match what's up here. Therefore, these two lines eventually will run into one another. Okay? Let's look back at our answer choices because we have some vocabulary. Angle 1 and angle 5 are congruent. 1 and 5 are not congruent. Congruent means exactly the same. Exactly the same. And they are not, are they? So that's not a good answer choice. Angle 1 and angle 4 are supplementary. Okay, 1 and 4 do not add up together to 180 degrees, do they? Because supplementary angles have to add up to 180 degrees. 1 and 4 do not. We have 62 and we have 116. They add up to 178, which is not 180. C. The measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 4 is 180 degrees. Angle 1 is 62, angle 4 is 116, and we just added those together, and no, they do not add up to 180 degrees. They are not supplementary. Okay, lines P and Q are not parallel. They were parallel. This set of angles and this set of angles would be exactly the same. And our last choice, lines P and Q are perpendicular. Perpendicular are going to be lines that meet at 90-degree angles. This has to be 90 degrees, like the corner of a sheet of paper, like the corner of a door, okay? So because 90 degrees and 90 degrees, what happens right there? It makes 180 degrees or a straight line. Magic number. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and I will see y'all on the next video.